indeed, it is the big news. The presidential primaries holding Abuja today is what everybody is looking at today. Joining me in the studio to give us his preview of the primaries is Opeyemi Agbaje, CEO of Resources and Trust. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Well, I think most of the media and generally analysts expect incumbent President Goodluck Jonathan to win these presidential primaries. But what's your reading of the build-up to the primaries?
Okay, the build-up has been interesting. Yes, the PDP has gone through the process, a democratic process. We see that the control of the party machinery has resided in the governors, and so the governors have been decisive in their influence in the outcomes in the states in respect of the governorship, the National Assembly and the State Assembly primaries, and they would have a decisive influence tonight in the presidential primary as well. Yes, the good money is on President Goodluck Jonathan, but you can't rule out also other scenarios in which surprises happen. Indeed,
I was just going to come to that because, of course, the major contestants with President Goodluck Jonathan is Atiku Abubakar, former vice president, and you know it would be wrong to underestimate him given his antecedents. I mean, he was vice president, and I remember in 2003 he was thought to be the machinery, so to speak, behind the return of President Obasanjo. Obviously, he has emerged as a northern consensus candidate, so he has. We've seen a series of successes, which obviously it would be wrong to rule him out as a contestant.
Well, yeah, well, you can't rule him out, and no one should ever underestimate Atiku Abubakar. But the odds are against him at this time. Atiku has lost a lot of political capital. He's made various moves in and out of the PDP. He hasn't been able to reconnect as strongly as he once was with the party leadership. Unfortunately for him also, most of the governors who were in place during his tenure as vice president are no longer in office. Ibori, Alamisega, some of those who were his strongest supporters are out of office, and a new generation of governors have been installed across the country. And the political dynamics have not also worked completely to his favor. Yes, the northern consensus candidacy, but I think most of the northern governors in the PDP have disdained that arrangement because they were not involved, and it doesn't seem to coincide with their interest. So I'll be surprised if Atiku Abubakar emerges as the PDP candidate, but like you said, I can't rule out any surprise. He's a foxy politician. He's good in these kind of scenarios when you need to make backroom deals, you need to negotiate with people, you need to make offers and counter offers and scheme. So it's his area of competence, but the odds are not in his favor.
And let's look a bit further down the line. The primary should end possibly early as of tomorrow, and PDP will be contesting against several candidates. Many other presidential primaries are holding today, tomorrow. So probably by next week we'll get a good sense of who will be running. To what extent do you think the ethnic factor, bearing in mind, you know, this issue of a northern candidate, I mean, in a scenario, for instance, that President Jonathan emerges as the candidate, we have several northern candidates coming into play. Do you think Nigeria has emerged to the point where ethnicity is no longer a big issue?
There's going to be a fairly, and it's good for our democracy, I think we're going to have a fairly competitive presidential election. I expect, as would have been clear by now, Jonathan to emerge from the PDP, not disclaiming the possibility that it will be Atiku Abubakar. We know already one presidential candidate who has secured his ticket already is Muhammadu Buhari, who is vastly popular in the Hausa Fulani North, Hausa Fulani and Islamic North. So his northern popularity doesn't cut into the Middle Belt and Christian areas. We have the ACN, which might be presenting Nuhu Ribadu or Atahiru Bafarawa,
who are also from the north.
Who are also other northerners. And you cannot, even though I don't expect that to happen, if Atiku wins in the PDP, there's a possibility that Goodluck Jonathan could be a candidate on another party platform. And the reverse is also a possibility, in which Goodluck wins and Atiku ends up in another party. And of course, we have the ANPP, which is likely to be fielding the governor of Kano State, the outgoing governor, Sheikh Alao of Kano. So you're going to have a field in which you have about 3 or 4 very strong northern candidates against President Goodluck Jonathan. The contest will then take on the Nigerian zonal structure because the interests of the zones diverge. So, for instance, the South-South will be likely to back Jonathan, who is there, who is from there. The Middle Belt in the north, which is the north-central mostly, will be likely to back Jonathan as well. The Southwest will be likely to back Jonathan as well. And the Southeast will also be likely to back Jonathan. So I think he has them. So the northern candidates will be fighting mostly for the votes in the Northwest and the Northeast. So again, the dynamics may play to Goodluck Jonathan's favor.
All right, just to round up very quickly, let's test the PDP, should I say, popularity, because it has won every election. And given the scenarios that you have played out, do you think the PDP machinery, so to speak, will be able to deliver the winner of the election, or it's too close?
We're going to have a very competitive election, no doubt. I mentioned the Southwest now. It's not so certain because of the ACN control in the Southwest, how they would eventually decide to act. So you would have a fairly, even when I said this zone will back somebody, it's not going to be an overwhelming sweep. You're going to have, even in the north, Goodluck Jonathan will be competitive if he retains the support of the governor. So you have a fairly competitive battle. You can't presume who the winner will be. And like I said, I think that's good for our democracy.
Indeed. I think everyone expects a very competitive battle. Thank you so much for your thoughts there. That's